On Saturday, the San Francisco 49ers entered the game facing their toughest test of the season, against a strong Washington Commanders team that seems headed for the playoffs. But by the time they exited this game, the 49ers were the consensus #1 team in the NFL and potential Super Bowl favorites. Welcome to Josh's Football Breakdowns, where we don't tell you what you're seeing, we let the film tell us what we're seeing. And what we saw in the first play of the game was Brock Purdy once again impressing. The 49ers start right away with the run-pass option, a play that's been pretty popular in the NFL in recent years, but it's a very old play indeed. Basically, if this defender gives the wide receiver a lot of space and these guys pursue hard to the run, the quarterback has the option, if he wants to throw a quick pass to the wide receiver. And this play almost seemed schemed right off the bat, or at the least a pre-snap read by Brock Purdy, the way he completely turns his back to the defense and then makes a nice move to quickly get Aiyuk the football. Very impressive. And here we see yet another impressive trait about Brock Purdy, which is the ability to throw at different arm angles. Still on their first drive of the game, the 49ers would be facing a key 3rd down and 7. And here we see something that we would see a lot in this game, which is the defender, in this case Derek Forrest, setting up to the outside, allowing George Kittle to take the inside of the field. Now, the middle of the field is completely open. Why? Well, for one thing, with Christian McCaffrey coming out of the backfield, he has to be accounted for. Okay, that's one guy. What else? Well, here we see something else that the Commanders would do pretty much all game long, which is send a blitz. They're trying to get pressure on this young quarterback any way they can, but at the cost of leaving the middle of the field wide open. The 49ers are marching right down the field, but here they're facing a 4th down and 1, and it's Shanahan's first important decision of the game. And short yardage has been a really interesting, almost sort of problem for the 49ers this year. They don't really have a good short yardage game outside of the quarterback sneak, which was Jimmy Garoppolo's specialty. They don't really have that, big bruising back that can fight for tough yards in short yardage situations. Or do they? Well, they didn't have Jordan Mason for this game because he was nursing a hamstring, so the 49ers limited his reps to special teams. So here Shanahan makes an interesting decision. He calls a play to go to the outside. Now, I don't really like plays that go to the edge on short yardage situations because it allows the defense to pursue. So here Shanahan decides to try to trip them up a little bit and give the ball directly to the fullback, Kyle Juszczyk. And here we can see the design of the play. If he can get this defender, Dan Johnson, to commit, he can pitch the ball to Christian McCaffrey on the option route. But Johnson's in a pretty good position here, so Juszczyk tries to turn it upfield a little bit first. And take a look, he's still 6 yards away from the 1st down. He tries to awkwardly pitch it out to McCaffrey late. McCaffrey makes a spectacular one-handed catch, but he stopped well short of the 1st down, and the Commanders get the ball. Let's move ahead a little bit in the game. We're in the second quarter now, and Washington is facing a 2nd down and 8, and they're right in field goal range, right at that 30-yard line. And they're showing a run formation here, so the 49ers bring up Talanoa Hufanga, and indeed he comes on the blitz. And Washington does fake the handoff, and this holds the linebackers, allowing their rookie phenom receiver Dotson to get way downfield. I think Dre Greenlaw was probably supposed to carry him here, but he gets mesmerized by the backfield action and then tries to recover, but it's too late, and Dotson burns the 49ers for a 25-yard gain. But just a few plays later, it would be the Commanders who would be facing an important decision, facing a 4th down and 1. And this brings up another interesting situation. Should they go for it or should they take the points? You know, the 49ers, when they made their decision, they were playing at home. And if they don't get it, they'll have plenty of opportunities to get it later. The Commanders are on the road, and there's sort of a saying in football, you always take the points on the road. But there's a key difference in this position, which is that if they pick up the 1st down, you can see they would score a touchdown. They would get 7 points, so it's much more tempting for them to go for that 1st down here. Now I'm going to be critical of Washington's play call on this play. It's something that I've seen in football in recent years, and it drives me crazy every time I see it. If you are going to run the football in short yardage, please do not do it out of the shotgun formation. They try anyway, and the play is easily stuffed. From this angle, we get a great look. It was Fred Warner who made the key play. This really set the stage for the game. Early in the game, both teams went for it on 4th and short, and both teams didn't get it. Each team was clearly prepared for battle in this game. All right, the 49ers get the ball. They pick up a 1st down, but they're still backed up, and now they're facing another 3rd down. And check out this play design here. When George Kittle runs into the middle, it holds the linebacker Davis just long enough to allow Jauan Jennings to open up behind him. And you can see Brock Purdy has already started his throwing motion. But there's a problem. If he throws this ball to where Jennings is going to be, this ball is probably going to be intercepted. He has to throw the ball away from the defender, so that's what he does. Whew, what a great throw. This is the definition of throwing somebody open. And what a catch by Jauan Jennings, who the players have appropriately nicknamed Chains. The 49ers follow this up with a Deebo Samuel-esque handoff to Ray McLeod, and the blocking on this play is absolutely outstanding. In fact, the 49ers even use Christian McCaffrey as another blocker on this play. And Ray McLeod demonstrates an exhibition of speed. And he is gone 71 yards for the touchdown. He's so far out ahead, the official starts to signal touchdown when he's at the 5-yard line. Ray McLeod also demonstrated another attribute on this play that undoubtedly makes him a great returner, and that is his vision. And just like that, the 49ers lead the game 7-0. And the 49ers would get the ball back again. And here we see, once again, a defender set up to the outside. This time it's Jeremy Reaves. And he's giving Jauan Jennings the inside of the field. And you can see there's a lot of space in the middle. Are the Commanders sending another blitz? They sure are. And it's an interesting sort of philosophy for Washington, right? You know, Brock Purdy has been kind of carving up the blitz. He definitely did against the Dolphins, against the Bucs. And the Seattle Seahawks tried the approach of not sending the blitz, dropping a lot of people back into coverage instead. It didn't really help, so, you know, what should you do? Should you send the blitz? Should you not send the blitz? Ultimately, Washington decided to do what they were comfortable with. They sent the blitz, with mixed results. Jennings bobbles the pass and it's intercepted by the Commanders. An unusually uncharacteristic mistake from Jauan Jennings, who's been otherwise super reliable. And there you can see the ball is a little bit low, a little bit behind, but definitely a catchable ball in the NFL. Jauan Jennings has to make that play, and I'm sure he'll bounce back from that. The Commanders capitalize on the mistake by calling a play for who else? Dotson. And a little bit of a miscommunication here between Talanoa Hufanga and Diamador Lenore. Hufanga could have carried Dotson to the corner. Instead, he sits on the route, and Dotson is wide open. Nice throw by Taylor Heineke there. Joey Slyle adds the extra point, and at the half, this game is tied at 7 apiece. Okay, it's the start of the third quarter now. Brock Purdy's most recent play was the tipped ball that led to the interception. So how does he respond in this situation? Well, the Commanders respond by sending another blitz. This leaves just one safety back deep, so check out Benjamin St-Juste. He's giving Brandon Aiyuk a lot of space here. He has to respect the fact that Brandon Aiyuk could be going deep on the play. Aiyuk takes the space the defense left behind. That is a great throw. Undaunted, the Commanders send another blitz. But I don't care who you have back there as quarterback. If you're going to take somebody out of pass defense, out of the coverage to send them on a blitz, you cannot give them this much time. That blitz has to get home. The 49er offensive line did a great job here because Brock Purdy has all the time he wants to scan the field. And if you give a quarterback that much time, he's going to carve you up. The 49ers send the speedy Danny Gray downfield, blazing downfield on the go route. The defense has no choice but to go with him. And this time it's George Kittle's turn to take the space the defense left behind. Perhaps sensing that the Commanders were reeling a little bit, Shanahan reaches deep into his playbook and dials up a winner. The design of the play is this. When George Kittle goes to the inside, the safety will sit on the route. And with St-Juste playing an outside technique, Ray McLeod will come wide open behind everybody for a long touchdown. And if this play looks familiar, it's because the Dolphins ran it against us just a few weeks ago. Remember, the Dolphins and the 49ers share the same playbook. Shanahan probably saw that and said, I should call that more often, and he does here. But this time there's a key difference. George Kittle notices that the safety is so out of position and so flat-footed, he's got nothing but green grass in front of him, and he just can't resist it. He takes off, and he steals the touchdown intended for Ray McLeod. Great throw by Brock Purdy, and after the game, Ray McLeod was the ultimate team player. He said, I wanted that touchdown for me, but the team winning the game was way more important than that. And at this point, I think it's impossible to deny any longer that the ability to attack teams with a deep threat has given the 49er offense that extra dimension to make them that deadly machine that fans have hoped they could be for several years now. All right, so the Commanders get the ball. They're down by a touchdown now, and they're facing another 4th down and 1. But look at where they are on the field. They're at their own 34-yard line. This is extremely risky. If they don't pick this up, the 49ers are already going to be in field goal range. As a coach, you have to consider what happens if you don't get the first down in these types of situations. But they don't call him Riverboat Ron for nothing. Ron Rivera says, to heck with that, we're going for it. Once again, you see Fred Warner creep up to the line of scrimmage, but this time it was, in every sense of the cliche, a team effort. Stuffed. The Commanders do not pick up the first down, and this was a major turnover on downs in this ballgame. In a run formation on the edge of field goal range, Kyle Shanahan, again probably sensing that the Commanders would sell out to try to stop this run, comes up with the perfect play call of the play action fake. And when the Commanders do indeed send everybody they can on the run blitz, we can already see George Kittle sneaking out the backside, a play 49er fans are familiar with. The play is so effective, Brock Purdy has two good options here. Jennings deep or George Kittle short, which we know is a higher percentage play. He makes the decision, I like the decision, to get the ball to George Kittle, and Jennings immediately turns upfield and starts throwing a block, and he throws the key block to spring George Kittle, and Kittle takes it all the way in for a touchdown, and the 49ers go up multiple scores. I said it last week, but I think it bears repeating again this week. George Kittle is looking as nimble and healthy as ever. The rookie is making great decisions and delivering the football with accuracy, and the result is George Kittle with 4 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks, and Brock Purdy with 8 passing touchdowns in the last 4 weeks. An outstanding run for the young rookie quarterback. Desperately, the Commanders need to do something to turn the momentum of this game. So this time it's their turn to hit the 49ers with the run fake. A run fake that would be successful and draw in the 49er defense, leaving them extremely susceptible to these long go routes. Heinicke gets everything he can on this ball, and it travels about 65 yards in the air. That's about the maximum that you're going to see. It does hang up a little bit, and I think if Sammy Womack had maybe played this ball at its highest point, he might have come up with the pass breakup here. Nevertheless, it's Terry McLaurin coming down with the catch, a spectacular play for Washington that gets him in scoring position and right back into this game. Heinicke looks for McLaurin again, but he stays on this read a little bit too long and misses Dotson coming wide open over the middle. And he's forced to scramble. So where's he going to go with the football now? Well, he goes with the guy that he was looking at originally, Terry McLaurin, and Heinicke makes a great throw here and gets them the touchdown, putting the Commanders right back into this game again. All season long, I was looking forward to this game. I knew it was going to be a great game between two good football teams, and just like that, the score is San Francisco 21, Washington 14. The 49ers would respond on the very next play. Once again, Shanahan hits the Commanders with the run fake. And to really sell the fake this time, they pull the guard, Aaron Banks. And do you remember last week, at the play we looked at in Seattle, where Brandon Aiyuk pretended to run block and then just kept going out on a pass route? Well, here he does the same thing, except this time he curls back to the other side and gains some incredible separation. And Brock Purdy hits him with the football. This team just has too many weapons, and this time it's a 54-yard gain for Brandon Aiyuk. Now, so far each week we've looked at one play where I've said that Brock Purdy, as good as he is still making some rookie mistakes. They're not very many mistakes, and he corrects them each week, but we're going to see another one here. Notice the line of scrimmage is the 5-yard line. The pass rush gets through and he's forced to scramble, no problem. He sees that all the receivers for the 49ers are covered. Again, this is completely okay. What he needs to do here is throw the ball away and live for third down. Instead, Brock Purdy makes a pretty bad decision here, and he runs the ball to the sideline and steps out of bounds at the 10-yard line. That's a big mistake. It's a 5-yard loss. It turns what would have been a 3rd and 5 into a 3rd and 10. This is another rookie mistake and one that needs to be corrected immediately. He needs to throw that ball away, and I'll be watching to see if he makes that mistake again in the future. But so far, I have not seen him make the same mistake twice, which is a good sign. Now facing 3rd and goal at the 10, the 49ers can ill afford another mistake like a penalty. Penalties are drive killers, but watch Mike McGlinchey here. False start, 49ers have to go back 5 more yards, and facing a 3rd and 15, they do not convert and they are forced, reluctantly, to settle for the field goal here. Robbie Gould knocks it through, making the score 49ers 24, Commanders 14, a 2-score lead. After an exciting third quarter, things would start to turn against the Commanders in the fourth quarter. Just 2 plays after that field goal, Nick Bosa, he's being forced to take the long way around. Taylor Heinicke would like to step up in the pocket, but he's being prevented by the 49ers defensive line. Michael Dwumfor on the inside and Jordan Willis on the outside both get great rushes. Dwumfor was able to get his because Eric Armstead was being double-teamed. And Jordan Willis gets a great rush because they tried to block him with a tight end. Bosa gets the sack, the fumble, Jordan Willis plucks it out of the air, and the 49ers have the football. The 49ers would like to score a touchdown and put this game away, but even on a short field, penalties are drive killers, and once again, watch Mike McGlinchey. It's another false start, and this one is just inexcusable. You know, the one mistake, anybody can have one mistake, but you just can't have this, especially when you're already under the spotlight. The 49ers settle for another field goal. Robbie Gould knocks it through. The score is 27-14. It's a 13-point lead. It's still technically a 2-score game. Still plenty of time in the fourth quarter, only down 2 scores. But here Taylor Heinicke throws a bad interception to Jimmy Ward, and the 49ers once again are in business. What happened on this play? Once again, Eric Armstead is drawing a double team. But strangely here, the guard decides to peel off and try to help out with Nick Bosa, giving Armstead a free shot at Heinicke. Heinicke spots his outlet at the last second, but Armstead hits him right as he throws, and the ball is picked off by Jimmy Ward. After failing yet again to move the ball in a short field, the 49ers again have to settle for a Robbie Gould field goal, making the score 30-14, a 16-point lead and still technically a 2-score game. Washington needs a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion, and here they set out to do just that. After turning the ball over twice within 2 plays, Taylor Heinicke is benched in favor of Carson Wentz. I don't know if I would make that move long term if I was the Commanders, but down 16 points, Ron Rivera was just trying to get something going for his team. And here we can see a nice route concept that frees Curtis Samuel up against Jimmy Ward for a touchdown. Really nice throw by Wentz there, but now they have to convert the 2-point attempt. They go back to the run fake, but to really try to sell this fake, it involves having to block Nick Bosa with the tight end. And I think we all know how that's going to go. Now, unfortunately for Bosa, statistically, this does not count as a sack. It is merely a failed conversion attempt on the 2-point try. Don't worry, Nick Bosa still leads the league in sacks, and by all accounts, his strong game today all but sealed his probable win of the Defensive Player of the Year award. Now, the fact that they did not convert the 2-point try is significant. It means they only scored 6 points, making the score San Francisco 30, Washington 20. They score a touchdown, but it's still a 2-possession game. It's as if they didn't score the touchdown at all. So if you remember back to when Taylor Heineke threw that interception to Jimmy Ward, there was about 11 minutes left in the game at that point. 49ers got the ball, ran some time off the clock, kicked a field goal. Then Carson Wentz came in and drove the Commanders down on a lengthy drive, and then they scored a touchdown, but all this took about 6 minutes off the clock. So with 5 minutes to go and still needing 2 scores, Ron Rivera decides to go for the onside kick. The onside kick has a very low success rate in the NFL, about 8%. So kickers try to do unusual things with the football, try to get them to bounce and move in funny ways to give their team any kind of a possible edge. And as we know, the ball must travel at least 10 yards for it to be a successful onside kick. Here, Joey Slyle does a good job of getting the ball to spin in a funny, unusual way, but it curls back on itself. The ball does not go 10 yards. This is not a successful onside kick attempt, and the 49ers are awarded the football. So with about 3 minutes to go, the 49ers are facing a 4th down, and I think this is one of Kyle Shanahan's best decisions of the ball game. If they kick the field goal here, they go up 13 points. Again, we're in that weird limbo of the 2-possession ball game. If they score a touchdown, on the other hand, they go up 3 scores. They put this thing away officially. And if they don't convert, if they turn the ball over on downs, they're still up by 10 points. They're still up by 2 possessions. It's a very low risk, high reward decision to go for it. And I think Kyle Shanahan made a great decision here. The play is designed for George Kittle over the middle. Once again, the middle is wide open because, desperate to make something happen, the Commanders send an all-out blitz on the play. There is one problem. You can see a defender lurking right there. So George Kittle decides to put a pretty strong move on him. He lays on a pretty thick shake and bake, and it works. The defender bites on the move. What all that shaking and baking does, though, is throw off the timing of the route. Nevertheless, George Kittle makes a spectacular catch, and it's a 1st down for the 49ers. Unbelievable catch from an unbelievable athlete. The 49ers would punch it in on the next play thanks to Christian McCaffrey. He gets into the end zone. Again, the 49ers put this thing away officially. The Commanders would go on a last-ditch drive that would end up dying at midfield as time expired, and the 49ers are your winners. 37-20, the final score. Well, there you have it, folks. The 49ers and the Commanders, we knew it was going to be a good game. 2 good football teams. The Washington Commanders are probably going to make the playoffs. They do have to win a couple of games to make sure they get in at the end of the season, though. We'll see if they're up to the task. But clearly, this was a well-coached, competitive team that came in on the road on a short week and kind of traded blows with the 49ers for a long time in this game, until the 49ers pulled away in the 4th quarter. San Francisco is just too strong of a football team. They've got the playmakers to make it happen. And what about Nick Bosa? Unbelievable. 2 sacks in this game, forced fumble, the huge forced fumble that really broke open the game in the fourth quarter, by most accounts locking up that defensive player of the year position. I'm always a little hesitant, I guess, because there was an interesting situation about 10 years ago. For some of you, you might remember back when, it was kind of thought to be a 2-horse race between Navarro Bowman and Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman was having a great season for the Seahawks. He had 8 interceptions on the year, but Navarro Bowman had really started to generate some buzz late about the Defensive Player of the Year award. And then he delivered the pick at the stick, the pick 6 on Matt Ryan to close out Candlestick Park and clinch the playoff berth for the 49ers in front of a national audience I thought would really propel him towards that award. And then go look up what he did the week after at Arizona. He had, I believe it was an interception, a forced fumble recovery, just another phenomenal game in that game to really, I think, you pull ahead late in that contest. Well, fans on the West Coast were pretty surprised when neither player won the award and it was given to Luke Kuechly. So you kind of never know with these kinds of awards. You never know how the voters are going to choose until after the voting's done, of course. So in this case, I'm getting a much stronger sense of a much broader national support of Nick Bosa for this award. 49er fans can, I think, start to dream and start to get excited a little bit about that. Other defensive players who were just awesome in this game, obviously Jimmy Ward coming up with the interception, Jordan Willis coming up with the fumble recovery. He had to grab onto that ball and really hang on against a whole scrum of Commanders that were trying to take that ball away. He continues to impress as a 49er. And then, of course, Eric Armstead. This team is a different team on the interior when Eric Armstead is in the lineup and playing. It's undeniable at this point. On the offensive side of the football, Ray McLeod really took some big steps forward into, filling in as a playmaker on this offense. The 71-yard touchdown run. He really showcased his vision and his speed on that play. I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Shanahan gets him some more plays. And then just the outstanding attitude, being the team player, even though George Kittle went and stole his touchdown, earlier in the game. Great play by George Kittle. I do wonder what the coaches are going to think about that behind closed doors, but that's not for us to worry about. We don't have to worry about it. When I watched the Dolphins game, I had this thought, and I really wanted to bring this up during that video. But of course, if I say everything that's on my mind, each video would be 4 hours long. But it occurred to me during that game, and I've seen it around the league quite a bit now since then. The Dolphins, just like a lot of teams in the NFL, really play an emotional brand of football that served them well at times. But you contrast that to the San Francisco 49ers, they're just a ruthlessly efficient machine. And they're getting a lot of recognition towards that recently. Dan Hansis, in his weekly power rankings for NFL.com, pretty much said as much in his piece there. I suggest you go read it. He has the 49ers ranked number 1. Of course, the ultimate goal is the Lombardi Trophy. Sports columnist rankings don't mean anything. The 49ers still have to get it done, but I believe they will. Brock Purdy has really, really impressed as a rookie. Yes, we are seeing some rookie mistakes, but again, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think I have seen the same mistake twice out of Brock Purdy. He looks really good. He learns from his mistakes, on a game-by-game basis, which a lot of rookies don't do. And the rest of his game is really strong. We've already talked about this. His footwork is good, and he's just a natural thrower of the deep ball, that missing element from the 49ers offense. Hear my heart, you guys. This is not a knock on any other quarterbacks. I'm not trying to diss either of them. to make Brock Purdy look good. I'm simply saying what I'm observing and what you guys are observing on the film here. When he throws the deep ball, he looks really good doing it. The game was tight for a while, and then all of a sudden, bam, Purdy hits Kittle with a long touchdown, and it's that extra element just makes the 49ers offense that much more dangerous. It really is an exciting year for the 49ers. The sky really is the limit. I understand it, most of the time I try to advise the fans to kind of temper their expectations a little bit, come to these games with a sense of realism and understanding, of what happens on a play-by-play basis. But I think we're getting close enough. It's okay to start dreaming a little bit. Life is short, life is hard. So what fun is life if you can't dream? So dream big. We've picked up a lot of new subscribers in the last few weeks. I want to thank all of you guys so much. And I especially want to thank those of you who have really gone the extra mile to support this channel. I say it every week, and I mean it every week from the bottom of my heart. You guys, thank you so much. You humble me, you honor me. I'm just blown away by your incredible generosity week after week after week, and this week, of course, is no exception. There is one other person that I would really like to take time to thank on air, and that is my wife, the lovely Mrs. Putnam, for whom, without her support, I could not do these videos, and I really mean that, you guys. She is absolutely incredible. Week after week, you guys, again, just humble me by thanking me in the comments for making these videos. If you're so inclined, leave her a thanks. She sees them too, and it really means a lot to her. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. All right. The 49ers go to Las Vegas, Nevada to say hi to our old neighbors. The Raiders and the Bay Area have had a long and interesting relationship, and they're going to play each other next Sunday. This is going to be so cool. They go and play in the Raiders' new stadium in Las Vegas for the very first time. That is going to be a fun game. I've got Josh Jacobs going in fantasy, but I also have the Niners defense going. How weird is that? All right. Either way, no matter what happens in that game, Niners, Raiders, we are going to be here to break down that film after that game, and I will see you guys then.